Hey guys, welcome to Soumyasta once again. I would like to share that I'm starting this new segment on my YouTube channel called Candid Baatchit, where I will be conversating with people who are actually doing some inspiring things in their life, and obviously a conversation with them will bring up things which will be meant to inspire you in life somehow, to some extent. So I would really like to introduce the guest on our channel for today, the very first guest for this session to get started. So today the guest present on our channel with us is Mr. Pratik Shelke. I hope I am pronouncing his name rightly. He is officially an author of a very well-known written book named One Step Short to the Moon, IT versus Love. I'm personally fond of reading books and novels, and so I have went through his book, and I must say that it's really a very nice work. It contains a very relatable plot of a phase of life through which everyone, like most of the Indian people, have went through, and I won't reveal much about it over here. You must get the copy. It's just I'm suggesting something good. Okay, keeping this thing side apart, besides being an author, Pratik is also a mentor and a consultant. So I hope our conversation will be interesting for you to hear. So let's get into the talk without further delay. Hi Pratik, welcome. Let's start it. So the very first question, as you already know that I have got a copy of your book and I have read it, and obviously I'm not going to reveal the plot over here. When I went through your book, I saw your journey, like it was obviously related to your personal life, covering from it and now being in the present with everything going better than the past. So how the journey has been for you, how it feels, and has life changed really after you getting your first book published?
Let's say in the monetary sense, in any other senses, it hasn't been like people perceive it has been. So in one way, yes, it is fulfilling, and it does mean a lot to me whenever someone comes and tells me that it has helped me, or I mean it has helped them. But the you know if the my life has changed after the book, then except that one thing, and except for a few incidences when I was invited at some prestigious colleges like IITs and some prestigious places like Reliance FM and Akashwani and a few international schools, वो अगर छोड़ दो तो फिर इतना लाइफ चेंज नहीं हुआ है, and I never intended to change the life either actually. That people should be benefited by this book, and in a small percentage, not in a big percentage, but in a small percentage, I have achieved what I wanted to.
Yeah, that's really good to know. Okay, so moving to the initial phase of people who begins writing. For the world, the definition of writer is the one who writes, but for like an author is someone who actually got his work officially published. So what difference do you see between them?
As long as he likes whatever he wants to write, uh, then you can call him a writer. मतलब writer एक बहुत ही general term है. Writer is like the universal set. अगर मैं math की भाषा में बोलूँ, engineer की भाषा में बोलूँ तो engineer बहुत ही universal set है writer, और जो author है वो subset है. तो author, poet, ये जो सारे हैं शायर वगैरह, ये सारे सबसेट्स है, वो एक यूनिवर्सल सेट. और ऑथर्स ना, यूजुअली मैंने देखा है कि ऑथर्स जो होते हैं वो अपना जो वर्क होता है वो पब्लिश करने में इतने कॉन्फिडेंट नहीं होते. वो they go back and they keep polishing their work. An author is born the moment he feels that whatever he has written needs to be chiseled well, needs to be sculpted well before he just puts it out to his audience. He feels that I have to make this more simplistic, I have to make this more understandable, I have to make this more realistic. That is the author. Writer is just writing for the sake of his happiness.
True. I agree to it to the very extent. Okay. Is there any therapeutic benefits to you while modeling a character for or if you know it already, or after knowing someone?
थेरेपेटिक बेनिफिट तो बहुत ही कॉम्प्लेक्स वर्ड हो गया. आई डोंट नो व्हाट इट इवन मीन्स एक्चुअली.
Okay.
पर व्हाट आई वुड से इज दैट कि जब मैं किसी कैरेक्टर को फिक्शनलाइज करता हूँ ना, तो उस टाइम पे मुझे उस कैरेक्टर के साथ एम्पथाइज करना होता है. जैसे मैंने आपको पहले भी बोला है कि आई हैव टू एम्पथाइज विद दैट कैरेक्टर. I have to know why they may have done what they have done. I have to kind of, sit or just take a walk in the woods, or I'll just have to jog towards the sunset, chasing the sunset, and in my mind it will go on कि यार इन्होंने ये क्यों किया होगा, मतलब क्या ऐसा उनको लगा होगा, या क्या मैंने बोला होगा, या फिर क्या उनके साथ हुआ होगा जो जिसके बाद इन्होंने ये किया. Because there is no such thing as a good person and a bad person. So a lot of the times it's just circumstances. So you have to dig deep into the character and feel कि क्या circumstances ऐसी आई होंगी जिनकी वजह से उन्होंने ऐसा किया है. And I think वो चीज से आप ज्यादा एम्पथाइज हो जाते हो उस कैरेक्टर के साथ, और आप खुद को उनके शूज में you know see yourself in their shoes and you think from their perspective. And in that process, I think you forgive that person, and in that process you understand that person more, and in that process you feel and you understand why they may have done what they have done. तो थेरेपेटिक बेनिफिट ये है कि आप ज्यादा फॉरगिविंग हो जाते हो, और ऑब्वियसली अगर आप ज्यादा फॉरगिविंग हो जाते हो तो आप फॉरगेट भी करते हो जो जितना पेन या जो भी उन्होंने कॉज किया है. तो यू मूव ऑन यार, इन दैट प्रोसेस यू मूव ऑन. यू फील कि इन्होंने इनके पीछे शायद ये रीजन होगा, इसके वजह से इसने ये किया है. बिकॉज एवरीवन डज समथिंग फॉर अ रीजन. नोबडी इज डूइंग इट because just because they are little bad at it, because they are good. Most of the times, I'm not saying always, most of the times there is a reason, and you need to dig up that reason, and when you are writing that character you dig up that reason, and in the process you forgive and you move on. And that's the therapeutic benefit, I think, that there is to be writing a character, that there is to be fictionalizing a character. Yeah.
Okay, that's true. I mean, if you are going to model a character, you think from their perspective. You try to think, yeah, that's broad. Yeah. Okay, the next question. What does the word writer's block mean to you?
Writer's block तो मैंने सुना है, और I do not wish to invalidate it, पर honestly मैंने कभी experience नहीं किया है writer's block. Whenever let's say I sit in front of my computer, या फिर whenever I take a notebook and a pen and I start writing, the first few sentences are difficult, but जब वो first few sentences आ जाते हैं पेपर के ऊपर, तो बाकी के सारे sentences they are so smoothly flowing. It's like someone has put a blob of butter on a pan, on a hot pan, और वो एकदम ऐसे एकदम smoothly glide हो रहा है. You can even imagine कि कैसा ग्लाइड होता होगा वो जब आप वो हॉट पैन पे डाल देते हो ब्लॉक. तो वो बहुत ही स्मूथली ग्लाइड होता है यार मेरे इसमें, और मैंने राइटर्स ब्लॉक को भी एक्सपीरियंस किया नहीं है. पर मैंने जब मैं व्हेन आई वाज अ चाइल्ड, आई लेट्स से इन 4th and 5th स्टैंडर्ड, आई हैव एक्सपीरियंस द स्केचर्स ब्लॉक. आई डोंट नो इफ देयर इज अ वर्ड लाइक दिस. तो मैं स्केचिंग करता था जब मैं छोटा था, स्केचिंग बहुत पसंद था, और स्केचर्स ब्लॉक हो गया था मेरे को. तो मतलब आई यूज्ड टू स्केच यार, एवरी इवनिंग आई यूज्ड टू स्केच. तो फिर एकदम से ना मैं वो लाइक आउट जोन आउट ही हो गया. मैं वो मुझे कोई ना आइडियाज आने लगे, नए नए आइडियाज, और मैं ऐसा नहीं होता था मेरा कि मैं किसी को देख रहा हूँ और स्केचिंग कर रहा हूँ, या फिर किसी से इंस्पायर होकर स्केचिंग कर रहा हूँ. मैं एकदम आउट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड चीजें स्केच करता था, एकदम इमेजिनेटिव. मतलब पूरा सारा मेरा इमेजिनेशन ही उसमें कोई वो किसी का ऐसा इंस्पायर्ड नहीं होता था वो. तो एकदम से ऐसा हो गया था कि मुझे नई चीजें इमेजिन नहीं हो रही थी, और एकदम ऐसे मैं जोन आउट हो गया था, और मैं थोड़ा सा फिर परेशान था. बट माय ग्रैंडपा देन जस्ट डाइवर्टेड मी टुवर्ड्स कैरम, और उनका कैरम फेवरेट स्पोर्ट था. he was a national hockey player actually, but then उनका कैरम में भी बहुत रुचि थी, तो ही गॉट मी टू कैरम. और फिर हम उसी टाइम पे कैरम हम खेलने लगे. We sometimes flew kites, we sometimes played carom, we sometimes played chess. और आई स्लोली फॉरगॉट अबाउट दैट ब्लॉक. मतलब मैं ना उसके बारे में इतना सोच रहा था, और मैं ऐसा फील कर रहा था कि नाउ आई एम अ गुड चेस प्लेयर लेट्स से, एंड आई वाज एंजॉयिंग दैट चेस, एंड आई वाज एंजॉयिंग फ्लाइंग काइट्स. मुझे बहुत मजा आने लगा था. नए नए ढोल पतंग लाओ और फिर बड़े बड़े पतंग लाओ और उसको उड़ाओ, और बहुत मजा आने लगा था. तो वन डे आई रिमेम्बर मेरे ग्रैंडपा ही वाज टेलिंग मी अ स्टोरी, और मैंने वाइल ही वाज टेलिंग मैंने कहीं से ऐसा नॉर्मली एक पैड ले लिया, एंड मेरे मतलब पैड के ऊपर कुछ होते थे पेपर्स वगैरह हमेशा लगाए हुए, और वो पेपर जैसे लाइन लाइन थे वो पेपर्स के ऊपर. मतलब दैट वाजंट एग्जैक्ट ड्राइंग पेपर, तो लाइन लाइन वाले पेपर वो उसके ऊपर था. तो मैंने उसके ऊपर एकदम से हमारा स्केच बनाया, मेरा और मेरे ग्रैंडपा था, एंड वी वर फ्लाइंग काइट ऑन दैट स्केच. एंड जो हमारा ग्राउंड था दैट वाज अ कैरम बोर्ड. तो नीचे ग्राउंड पे मैंने पूरा कैरम बोर्ड बना दिया था. और वो कैरम बोर्ड के अंदर एक स्क्वायर होता है. एग्जैक्टली आई डोंट रिमेम्बर नाउ, काफी साल हो गए कैरम खेल के, पर या देयर इज अ स्क्वायर जहाँ पे वो साइड के ऊपर आप वो स्ट्राइकर रख के यू प्ले. तो उसके अंदर मैंने चेस बोर्ड बनाया था. फिर वो चेस बोर्ड के नीचे मैंने ये बनाया था कैरम बोर्ड, उसके ऊपर मैं और मेरे बाबा थे इन दिस स्केच, एंड वी वर फ्लाइंग काइट. So it was quite an imaginative thing. Rather than ground, we are on the chess board, और वो chess board के हमारे positions भी I think किसी प्रकार के थे. मतलब इसको काफी साल हो गया अभी. मैं I think fifth standard में fourth standard में मैंने किया है. तो I don't remember exactly, पर इतना मैं I remember कि मैंने कुछ ऐसा बनाया था. So what I am trying to say is that whenever you come across such a block, you involve yourself into some other activity. Any activity that will give you joy, any activity that will make you learn something, any activity that will make you productive, yeah, that will remain productive for you. It can be. It was flying kites for me. It was just playing chess with my grandpa. It could be anything else like painting for you. Like in case you are experiencing writer's block, maybe just go and paint, or maybe just make some Instagram reels. Maybe just just do some photography. Just do something that will keep you joyous, that will keep you cheerful, and don't think about it too much. Don't be too tense. One day it will, your thoughts will flow back again, just the way they were flowing with mine. So यही है मेरा कि it will come back one day. That's it. I mean, I hope I was making sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Like if something is distracting you, just engage yourself in the other activity, and that's just good. Yeah. So as you said that there's nothing such a thing writer's block for you yet.
मुझे नहीं हुआ यार, पर आई डोंट वांट टू इनवैलिडेट. मैंने जैसे बोला कि शायद लोगों को होता होगा, पर मैं ये नहीं बोलना चाहता कि मुझे नहीं हुआ तो फिर मतलब वो तो है ही नहीं. आई डोंट वांट टू डू दैट.
Definitely. Yeah. So you write when you feel like when there is a flow of emotions within you. Is that the theory for you? Is that the concept for you?
Yeah, exactly. कि मतलब कुछ ऐसा करो जहाँ पे तुम्हें मजा भी आ रहा है, जहाँ पे तुम कुछ बना रहे हो. मतलब मेरा ये मानना है कि यार तुम हमेशा कुछ ना कुछ बनाते रहो. मतलब इट्स वेरी गुड टू बी creating something all the time, and that's why one of the reasons that I really admire you is because you always go on creating something. चाहे वो पोर्ट्रे हो, चाहे वो यूट्यूब वाला वीडियो हो, चाहे वो कुछ पेंटिंग हो, you are always creating something, and that is very very important. वो that will make you sharp. Okay, that will really make you sharp. That will really make you more wise person, and that will वो तुम्हारा जो फ्री टाइम है वो do it productively also, like spend it productively also. So हमेशा कुछ ना कुछ बनाते रहना is a very good thing. तो चाहे वो कुछ भी बना रहे हो आप, मतलब obviously थोड़ा मीनिंगफुल होना चाहिए.
Thank you, Pratik. Okay, Pratik, there are sometimes when every people doesn't agree with you. You have got your book published. So have you ever had to deal with negative reviews? And if yes, then how do you process and deal with it?
Honestly, maybe this would sound surprising, but मेरे को negative reviews नहीं मिलता है. ना मुझे I get it on the Amazon, nor do I get it on in my DM, nor does someone call me and says just stop writing man या फिर ऐसा कुछ. I've heard this thing कि बाकी के साथ कभी कभी ऐसा होता है, and I don't know if that is fictional or real, but audience has been really very kind to me, and girls have been really sweet to me, and boys have been really very understanding towards me. जबकि मैंने काफी मजाक में काफी कुछ बोल दिया था उन्हें बुक में और ऐसा, बट दे हैव बीन नाइस टू मी यार. मतलब अगर आप मेरा बुक लेट से 240 पेज तक पढ़ोगे, वैसे तो आई थिंक 256 या 265 ऐसे कुछ पेजेस हैं मेरे बुक में, और 240 तो आई नो व्हाट इज देयर ऑन 240 पेज. और जब आप वो 240 पेज तक पहुंचोगे तो आई थिंक यू फॉरगिव मी अगर मैंने कुछ गलत बोला भी है तो यू विल अंडरस्टैंड कि व्हाई ही हैज डन व्हाट ही हैज डन. एंड आई थिंक जिन्होंने भी पूरा बुक पढ़ा है मेरा या फिर 240 पेज तक पढ़ा है, दे हैव नॉट क्रिटिसाइज्ड मी एट ऑल. पर कभी कभी ऐसा आ जाता है इंस्टाग्राम पे, मैं कभी कभी यू नो दैट पॉलिटिकल मैं राइट विंग के बारे में कुछ बोल दिया तो फिर राइट विंग वाले लोग आके ट्राई टू क्रिटिसाइज, पर फिर मैं उनको बहुत ही calmly but firmly I tell them why I feel what I feel, and I do remind them that I am a citizen of India, and according to the constitution I have freedom of speech and freedom of thought, and I am just exercising my freedom. I'm not doing anything illegal. और मैं भी ये ट्राई करता हूँ कि मैं कभी हर्टफुल लैंग्वेज में कुछ बोलूँ नहीं किसी को. आई डोंट रियली रिमेम्बर लास्ट टाइम मैंने किसको अब्यूज किया होगा या गाली दिया होगा या किसने मेरे को गाली दिया होगा. ये गाली नहीं, आई डोंट रियली रिमेम्बर कि लास्ट 5 साल में भी मैंने किसी को नॉट सो फ्रेंडली वे में गाली दिया है बोलते, या फिर मैंने गाली सुना है बोलते. दैट डजंट हैपन बिकॉज मेरा टोन यूजुअली काफी हम्बल होता है, और लोग भी यही बोलते हैं. एंड दैट्स व्हाई लाइक इट्स लाइक you give a vibrations, you give certain kind of vibrations, and those vibrations come back to you. So if you give vibrations and if you make people feel valued and if you make people feel that they matter and if you present your negative thoughts in a positive language or in a kind language, then people are not going to criticize you very badly. But then sometimes ऐसे कुछ बोल देंगे कि यार तुझे इतना नॉलेज ही नहीं है राइट विंग के बारे में, या फिर तुझे इतना फेमिनिज्म के बारे में पता ही नहीं है, गो एंड रीड सम बुक, ऐसा बोलेंगे मेरे को. बट वो मुझे ऐसे कभी किसी ने ऐसे गाली वाली नहीं दिया. मैक्स टू मैक्स कभी कभी कोई फेमिनिस्ट ब्लॉक कर देती है जब वो या फिर कभी मतलब आई ब्लॉक दी राइट विंग वाला गाय या फिर लेफ्ट विंग वाला गाय, अगर एक्सट्रीम राइट या लेफ्ट है तो आई एम नॉट एक्सट्रीम राइट नॉर एक्सट्रीम लेफ्ट, आई एम समवेयर इन दी मिडिल. तो कभी कभी एक्सट्रीम वालों को आई ब्लॉक, फिर कभी कभी फेमिनिस्ट ब्लॉक, कुछ जैसे सूडो फेमिनिस्ट बोलते हैं लोग वो. पर मोस्टली तो गर्ल्स आर वेरी काइंड, वेरी स्वीट टू मी यार. मतलब आई वेरी स्वीट, एंड आल्सो गाइज आर वेरी अंडरस्टैंडिंग टू मी.
That's really good. Even the plot of your story is very realistic and relatable to the reality of the world, I guess, and that's why I think the negative wave is
तो उनको लगता है कि काफी रियलिस्टिकली बोल रहा है वो और फेक नहीं कर रहा है. तो पर मैं ट्राई करता हूँ कभी कुछ फेक नहीं कर, जो है सच है वो बोल दूँ, जैसा है वैसा प्रेजेंट करूँ. बिकॉज उस टाइम पे फिर यू डोंट हैव टू रिमेम्बर थिंग्स, एंड आई एम वेरी बैड एट रिमेम्बरिंग थिंग्स. मतलब मेरा मेमोरी बहुत ही बुरा है. सो आई जस्ट rather than telling the lies and remembering the lies, I'm like, okay, let's tell the truth, because truth, you don't have to remember the truth, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Girls must be approaching you.
No, yeah, Soumya, I really want that you find some girls who would approach me. I would be so grateful ऐसा कुछ हो जाए तो. पर अभी तो फिलहाल जैसा लोगों को लगता है वैसा है नहीं.
Surely, I hope after this podcast, at least, may you get some DMs, at least from my friends.
How sweet is that?
Yeah. Okay. So moving to the second question, the idea of writing, starting it, was it spontaneous for you, or you knew about this hidden talent of yours much before?
So I don't know if I write so good that I can call it a talent. However, well, coming to the question, like as you read the book, you would have figured out that there was a very strong reason behind writing the book.
Yeah.
So the book near me, actually, I will just read the para if you would let me.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so it is on the page 232. It is like the Madhur Bhaiya, now to die is the only way out. But before that, I promise I will not let anybody suffer the way I had. Your message will not go in vain, bhai. No ID textbook, no lecturer, no website, no parent, sheds lights on this extremely important issue, but I will. And mostly whatever the stories that we have read and the movies that we have seen, it is about the 1% of the people who made it. But what about the 99% of the people who gave their best and yet couldn't achieve their dream? What about those people? This novel would be for those people and the experiences of those people. फिर उसके बाद में on page number 240 also I have given little hint wherein I have said that the fact is best stories of the world don't have a happy ending or don't necessarily have a happy ending. What makes them best is an ordinary man in it who surpassed devastations and still smiled, refusing to give up and ready to run with wounded legs. And life is, not about winning and losing, it's about winning and learning. So these were a few reasons which I had written for which I had written the book. I just didn't want anyone to suffer the way I had, and I felt that it was very, very important to bring the other side of the story in front of the people, not just the bright side, but also the dark side, so that people can take more informed decisions. My novel is not a cure for any wounds that you may have caused, that may have been, you know, came across your way. It's not a cure, it's just a prevention. A novel is a prevention, and largely it's just to make you, realize what happens on the other side of it, and so that you can take more informed decisions and so that you can enjoy the journey and not just fix your eyes on the destination and just sacrifice everything by feeling that once I will reach there, I would be happy. But the secret is that you need to be happy while working hard on that journey. Otherwise, it's really not worth it. So that was actually the book. And no, I did not know about this hidden talent before. I used to write before. I had written some stories about my crush, but then I never took it seriously. I just did it for my friends, and my friends liked it. पर मैं इतना कुछ सीरियसली वो करता नहीं था. बट इसके पीछे और ये इतना लेट्स से अच्छा हुआ और मैंने इतना सीरियसली लिखा है बिकॉज एक बहुत ही ठोस रीजन था ये
Yeah.
लिखने के पीछे. सो आई हैड अ वेरी स्ट्रांग रीजन. एंड when you have a very strong reason, when you have a very very strong why, then you do things great. Is what I really feel.
I agree absolutely. Okay, the next question for you, Pratik. When I check your social media, I do follow you over there, and I would really request people also to get in touch with you. I see you being very aware and concerned about gender equality in true sense and also about mental health. So, if you get a chance to bring some impactful changes in this regard, what would you do?
Uh, well, to be honest, I've actually applied at the Tata Institute of Social Sciences to study about gender and to study about mental health. And they had one exam called TISNET, and I even cracked that examination. And like within, I think, few days, I think in this week itself, I have the interviews, and after interview, I'd be taking admission there. So
That's really good. Congratulations.
yeah, thanks. So, with time, I'm learning that it's important to have a 360-degree approach to any mental health or gender related problems. It's important to think from all the sides before commenting on anything. If you observe, I used to post a lot about gender neutral laws and mental health concerns before,
Yes.
but I do not post so aggressively nowadays. It is because I'm unlearning a few things and also learning a few things that is letting me know that these problems are far more complex than you and I can see it from a distance. These are far more complex problems, and so as of now, I do not wish to comment what changes I would like to bring in. However, if people still want to hear my opinion on something, I would tell them that people try, dear people, I mean, please try to be more empathetic towards the opposite gender. Listen to them patiently. And if you're saying something like men are XYZ and they should be taught to be ABC, then try replacing the word men with women, and then think how would you react if the opposite gender tells the exact same thing to you. If we do this exercise before publishing anything, I think 80% of our profound thoughts would never see the light of the day in the form of reels or tweets or books or anything. It's like, we don't have that 360-degree approach, and it is going to take a lot of time to bring in, and it is going to take a lot of work in putting ourselves in the shoes of the opposite gender and thinking about the things from their perspective, and seeing in what society they have been raised in and what challenges they may be facing and why they must be behaving like whatever they are behaving. So it does take time, and it's not as easy as just posting 4 to 5 gender-related posts every day. Like I see a lot of feminist pages or even meninist pages posting 5 to 6 posts every single day with their own opinions, and that makes me really surprised. Sometimes because it takes a lot of days and maybe weeks and maybe years to find or to understand why that particular gender must be behaving a certain way, and thus passing comments very spontaneously isn't the right thing to do. Same with the mental health also. So you need to be more empathetic, and we need to be a good listener, and listen to them before like going and putting out our thoughts. So that's the exact reason which I do not wish to comment what changes I would like to bring in. Before that, I would really wish to go into the Tata Institute and study about these, and then maybe come back and give my opinion over it. Right now, I just don't have the enough knowledge. I'm really I don't mind confessing that. I just don't know enough about it. I mean, the more I know, the more I feel that I don't know enough about it. And that's the reality, yeah.
Yeah, that's really good that you are approaching a very technical way of researching about it and things. That's really good. Okay, so moving to our next question. You gave us great lessons and learning about life through your book. It motivated a lot of people, and as you said, you get lots of messages regarding that. But have you learned or discovered something while that writing process?
Well, yeah, I mean, writing makes you self-aware, okay? So you get to observe your thoughts, and while putting your character in a difficult situation, you understand how would you have dealt in that particular situation had you been there. So writing thus makes you wiser. It creates a smoother flow of thoughts and makes you more creative. And writing has thus helped me in self-discovery. So I have discovered myself more while writing. I have discovered मैं क्या करता अगर मैं उसकी जगह पे होता तो. So in that process I've become more empathetic also, and in that process I've become more self-aware about my own decisions and about my own thoughts and about my own confusions and about my own insecurities also. कि मैं ऐसा क्यों कर रहा हूँ. And whenever I write something, I try to like my characters, मैं ऐसा कोशिश करता हूँ कि मैं characters को good और bad ना बताऊँ. I don't go and show my characters as this is the hero, this is the villain, this is a good character, this is the bad character. It's like all of those are complex, and whatever they are doing, they have a reason behind it. And when I try to discover that reason while writing, I get to know more about myself, and I try to be more empathetic towards that person, why that person may have done whatever they may have done. When I wrote this book, I was just 17 years old. I wasn't that, uh, you know, aware of these things. But right now, when I'm, let's say, 23 years old, और अभी तो मैं इतना लिखता नहीं हूँ वैसे, but जब मैं 2018 में वगैरह लिखता था, तो at that time I used to be, I used to take time in jotting down my thoughts, and that was because I used to try to put myself into the shoes of those people, and then see why they may have done what they may have done. So yeah, I mean, writing जो है वो आपको बहुत सेल्फ अवेयर बनाता है. आप खुद को डिस्कवर करते हो, आप लोगों को ज्यादा कंपैशनेट नजरों से देखते हो, और इसलिए राइटिंग बहुत important है. It's like a meditation to me. It's like a medicine to me. Uh, I mean, just like people have dancing, singing, swimming, jogging, listening to music. It's writing for me. Different people have different things.
Yeah, that's really good to know. And that to starting writing at a very early age, like 17, you really need good knowledge and like the observing power and patience. Okay, so moving to the very next question. Would you like your book to be made into a movie? And if it is a yes, then which actors would you like to play your characters?
So I don't know if this would sound funny or tragic or what, but something that I had written is already converted into a movie, and I didn't know about it, and I had to hire a Supreme Court lawyer to fight it, and it's going, and it's going, and it's going, and it's going since a long, long time, and I don't know when I'll be getting the justice, and I mean, my 1.5 years of savings have been wiped up, and I have lost hope of getting the justice actually at this point, and that has somewhere stopped me from thinking whether this book would be converted into a movie, and because it's a long process, and you know I don't know यार, कि कभी भी कुछ भी हो सकता है यहाँ पे, और let's say अभी तक मैंने काफी सारे पब्लिशर्स को वो बुक सेंड किया हुआ है, एंड वो जो मैंने स्क्रिप्ट भी सेंड की हुई थी जिसके ऊपर कुछ बना था, दैट वाज आल्सो आई सेंट इट टू Screenwriters Association, Indian Corporate Office, various publishers, and you never know from where it got leaked, and the court asks you for the point of contact. How would that party have gotten your book when it wasn't even published? You cannot tell them that I've sent it to 100 publishers and maybe one of those 100 publishers have leaked it. You don't know which publisher have done it. You can't go directly and claim something, and you cannot accuse anyone. But then you just suffer silently, and you just hope that one day, surprisingly, you get to know who have done it, and you silently just keep researching about it. But that certain incidences like these in life take you back 5 years, and they make you very weak in the knees and very weak in the heart and very weak in the mind, and it takes time to recover from those incidences. Right now, I think I'm just in the recovery phase, and once I probably get recovered out of it, I'll try to make something out of this book. Something into a movie or a web series or whatever, and or I would be writing something else. So I'm right now just in the recovery phase, and I'm not really thinking about these things right now.
Yeah, it's really bad to know that, and I wish you get justice in true sense, because in India generally this is a problem for creators to get the credit and all.
It's everywhere actually. I never thought I could have never measured the impact of this incident on your mental health or on your emotional health or on your daily activity. But when you go through it yourself, only then you realize how badly this can impact you. And it doesn't matter how strong a person you are. And I believe I am relatively a very strong person, but then it can just break you. And also waiting for getting justice for such a long time, and it's not just in this regards. In India, in India, justice does take time. Not just in this regard, but whatever. Even if there are bigger matters like murder and rape and things like that, it still takes somewhere around decades to get the justice. So it is tough, and going through this journey makes you very weak also, but also makes you very what do I say? You become more like persistent person as well. So yeah, I am just looking for things to learn from this journey of healing from that bad shot. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Life is a journey full of ups and downs, and if something has happened wrong with you, there must be things going right with you. I just wish for that, because I see there are many people out there who appreciates your book, your work. Even
They do a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, even before starting this podcast, I was having a conversation with my friend, and he was saying about your book, like it's trending on Amazon, and he knows that, and it was like, okay,
Great. That's great to hear. Yeah,
yeah,
that's so good to hear. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so moving to the next question then. Though people say that not to judge a book by its cover, we all know how important a role the cover and the title plays for a book. So, how did you come up with the title for your book? That's really catchy title.
So yeah, I've always wanted a title which is curiosity generating and which is kind of unique and curiosity generating. The previous title was IIT versus Love, but then some of my friends told that ये काफी क्लाइशे हो गया है. चेतन भगत ने इसको काफी क्लाइशी कर दिया है और उसके बाद चेतन भगत के बाद में काफी सारे राइटर्स आए जिन्होंने आईटी के लाइफ के बारे में लिखा है और मेरा बुक कोई आईआईटी के लाइफ के बारे में है नहीं. मतलब इट्स जस्ट द स्टोरी ऑफ 11th and 12th पीपल. So my friends told that IIT versus Love शायद लोगों को ये इम्प्रेशन देगा कि ये जो स्टोरी है वो आईआईटी वाले स्टूडेंट्स की है जो आईआईटी में पढ़ रहे हैं उनकी. तो ये स्टोरी तो वो है नहीं. ये स्टोरी तो वो 11th and 12th वाले स्टूडेंट्स की है जो कि आईआईटी के लिए प्रिपेयर करने वाले हो सकते हैं, नीट के लिए प्रिपेयर करने वाले हो सकते हैं, सीएससीपीटी के लिए प्रिपेयर करने वाले हो सकते हैं या फिर जो भी. तो उन्होंने फिर बोला कि आईआईटी वर्सेस लव मत रखो. But my publisher had liked it actually because they felt कि love अगर टाइटल में हो तो लोग ज्यादा पिक करते हैं उसको.
Yeah.
और स्टैटिस्टिक्स और रिसर्च इन्होंने भी यही प्रूव किया है कि अगर लव हो कहीं टाइटल में तो दैट इज पिक्ड क्वाइट अर्ली एटलीस्ट इन इंडिया.
Yeah.
तो ये था. बट देन आई फेल्ट I mean while proofreading my book I think for the 100th time at that time I realized कि यार बुक में और ये स्टोरी ऐसा है कि वो बंदा अपना बेस्ट देता है फिर भी मतलब जो कि 99% ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स जो होते हैं वो अपना बेस्ट देते हैं फिर भी दे आर वन स्टेप शॉर्ट टू देयर ड्रीम. तो आई फेल्ट कि मतलब आई काइंड ऑफ spoke it again and again in my mind, one step short to their dream, they are falling one step short to their dream. And then I felt that dream के आगे जगह अगर मैं moon रखूं तो it could be curiosity generating, and that's what exactly happened. So when I said one step short to the moon to the people got curious कि यार ये क्या होगा? It's one step short to the moon. So is it like astronomical कुछ है क्या? या फिर मतलब is it a lot of research based book? या फिर is it मतलब people were then making assumptions and then that's what I wanted people to do. I wanted people to come up with a lot of assumptions rather than just discarding it by saying कि यार ये तो शायद आईटी कॉलेज वाले की कोई स्टोरी होगी और छोड़ देंगे. I did not want that. I wanted people to be curious about what the story should be, and that's what happened. But then the cover ruined it. So the cover was actually I had sent 3 cover designs to my publisher, and he actually told me that जो भी तुमने cover designs भेजे हुए हैं वो इतने बड़े मतलब they are so complex और इतना तुमने ज्यादा लिख दिया है कि हमारे cover designer को वो समझ ही नहीं रहा है. तो what I did is उसको मैंने छोटा कर दिया और सिंपल भाषा में मैंने बता के उनको भेज दिया. But then they sadly ignored it, whatever the designs that I had sent to them, whatever the design ideas that I had sent to them, and their cover designers they came off with their own idea. और उन्होंने जो मुझे भेजा था वो इतना pathetic था. It was more bad, it was more worse than the present cover. So फिर मैंने उनको फिर से पूरा काम करवाने लगाया कवर के ऊपर और that was the first time जब मैंने उनको सब कुछ पूरा करने के लिए कहा था. तब तक I was just bearing it and just pushing the book forward so that वो जल्दी रिलीज हो जाए और मैं छोटी छोटी टेक्निकलिटीज पे इतना ध्यान नहीं दे रहा था तब तक. पर कवर डिजाइन I made them to do it again all over again, and then उन्होंने पिजन्स के फेदर्स वगैरह डाल दिए मेरे कवर्स पे. जैसे पिजन के फेदर्स है इसके ऊपर और मुझे आज तक नहीं समझा है इसका सिग्निफिकेंस क्या है और मेरे रीडर्स भी यही वंडर करते हैं और मुझे पूछते हैं कि सर उसका सिग्निफिकेंस क्या है. तो आई थिंक वो ऑथर के चॉप फेदर्स हैं जो आप चॉप विंग्स हैं शायद ऑथर के जो आप वहां पे देख रहे हो. बाकी तो मुझे भी उसका सिग्निफिकेंस पता नहीं है यार. एंड आई एम ऑल्सो सर्चिंग फॉर द आंसर. और आपको अगर कुछ समझ में आता है कि हम इसको इस तरीके से जोड़ के बता सकते हैं So please let me know so that I can go to the people and I can present ये feathers का significance ये था और हमने इतना intelligently वो feathers को बनाया था तो हम ऐसे कुछ बोल सकें. So that if you come up with an idea, please let me know so that I can go and explain it to the people कि यार ये जो feathers है वो इस तरीके से बनाए थे हमने सोच के कुछ जो कि बिल्कुल भी नहीं सोचा था बट मैं आई होप कि हम कुछ ऐसा बता पाए.
Um, that's really something exciting. So, yeah, the next question for you was Pratik, that what comes first for you, the plot or the character, and why?
मुझे लगता है कि काफी सारे राइटर्स को उनको खुद नहीं पता होता कि उनकी स्टोरी कैसे एंड होने वाली है. मुझे पता था बिकॉज मैं तो ऑलमोस्ट मेरा ही लिखता था बट मोस्ट ऑफ द राइटर्स को पता नहीं होता है कि हाउ देयर स्टोरी इज गोइंग टू एंड, हाउ इट इज गोइंग टू मूव फॉरवर्ड. सो it's the characters that tell sometimes to the author how they are going to operate and how the plot is going and in which direction it needs to be driven. So they are just interdependent and I cannot answer कि पहले plot आता है या characters आता है because मैंने कभी focus ही नहीं किया है उन दोनों में से पहले किसको build करने में. मैंने बस स्टोरी लिखा है और अपने स्टोरी लिखते टाइम कैरेक्टर्स बिल्ड हुए हैं और जैसे कैरेक्टर्स बिल्ड हुए हैं तो उन्होंने मेरा नींद बिगाड़ा है और उन्होंने मेरे नींद में आके बोला है कि ये तो मैं कर ही नहीं सकता जो तुम मुझसे करा रहा है. एंड आई हैव मेड देम just the way they want it. And that does happen, okay. Once you jot down like let's say 50 or 100 pages, they start haunting you. They start coming into your dreams. They start telling you that next this will happen and this is not going to happen which you are feeling. So ये सब सारी चीजें होती हैं और बहुत इंटरडिपेंडेंट होता है.
True. So they both holds equal importance for you. Okay, Pratik. You know that social media is a boon for many of us nowadays in many ways. How do you make use of social media as an author?
Social media's use. Okay, so I usually am on social media to just remain connected with my readers and just so that my readers can approach me, can ping me, and we can have talks sometimes. And it is majorly just to remain connected with them, but also it is because I wish to spread the word of my book. So you may have seen कि मुझे कोई पर्सनल अकाउंट मेरा है नहीं सोशल मीडिया पे. जो भी है वो मेरा राइटर अकाउंट ही है. प्रतीक शेल्के ऑफिशियल इज व्हाट माय इंस्टाग्राम अकाउंट इज एंड आई हैव ओनली वन. और उसमें माय पिक्चर्स इज टू माय राइटिंग्स. इसका रेशियो लेट्स से 2:2 आई डोंट नो मे बी 2:20 होगा ऐसा कुछ. That is 1:10 ऐसा कुछ होगा. So most of it, 90% of it are my writings and 1% of it are 10% of it are my photos. और वो भी मैं इसलिए फोटोज डालता हूँ because sometimes the fans, I can't tell them the fans so, but the readers they do tell that this is the photo sharing app and you're not getting likes despite of having a lot of followers is because you're not posting your pics often and people want to see your pics, Pratik, and you must post your pics with the dog, with your girlfriend, with your family, with I don't know other things which I don't have, and they are like, you need to post these pictures.
Are there any special demands from the female readers?
Yeah, female readers love my smile यार और मुझे बहुत cute लगता है वो when they tell that I love your smile because मुझे भी बहुत पसंद है smiles और eyes और नोज. ये सारी चीजें मुझे भी बहुत पसंद है और मैं भी बहुत नोटिस करता हूँ. तो मुझे वो जेन्युइन सा कॉम्प्लीमेंट लगता है जैसे that. And they do say कि we want to see more pictures of yours wherein you are smiling. पर कभी कभी मुझे ऐसा भी आया है कभी कभी कोई फीमेल फॉलोअर्स क्या वी वांट टू सी दैट जो वो इंस्टाग्राम पे यूजुअली डालते हैं जिम वाले लड़के जिम में वर्कआउट करते टाइम वी वांट टू सी दैट वी कैन विद द डॉग या फिर आई वांट अ शर्टलेस पिक ऑफ योर्स. पर ऑब्वियसली आई डोंट हैव एनी सिक्स पैक एब्स so I'm not very comfortable in putting out a shirtless pic. So maybe जब वो हो जाएंगे सिक्स पैक एब्स so I might just put it out and I will be empowered then. No, no, just kidding. But something like that. I mean, पर हाँ, यही सोशल मीडिया का मोस्टली यूज यही होता है कि कनेक्टेड रहो, अपने बुक का प्रमोशन करो, ज्यादा लोगों तक पहुंचाओ बुक, और मीम शेयर करो, और क्या।
Memes, yeah, that's important thing. Okay, so this one choice based question for you, Pratik. If you could spend a day with another popular author, then who would you choose?
Another popular author, I think it would be Dan Brown. I
What's
would
the
like to
reason
spend
for
a
that?
day with Dan Brown. Huh?
What's the reason for that?
रीजन बिकॉज मैंने उनके कोई बुक्स पढ़े हैं जब मैं कॉलेज में वगैरह था, कॉलेज के फर्स्ट और सेकंड ईयर में, और डैन ब्राउन के एक्चुअली सिर्फ उनके ही बुक्स थे जो मैंने एक सीटिंग में वगैरह कंप्लीट किए हैं। अदरवाइज ये शायद तुम लोगों को सुन के काफी हैरानी होगी कि मैं मोस्ट नॉवेल्स कंप्लीट भी नहीं करता। तो मैंने बहुत कम नॉवेल्स कंप्लीट की हैं, और जो नॉवेल्स कंप्लीट की हैं वो यूजुअली सेल्फ हेल्प रही है, या फिर का स्टोरी बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग रहा है। पर डैन ब्राउन की स्टोरीज, इट कंटेन्ड अ लॉट ऑफ फैक्ट्स, and he created fictional stories out of the real facts, and he has like immense amount of knowledge. Maybe he has it, or at least you perceive that when you read his books. So I want to know कि वो इतना सारा नॉलेज कैसे कलेक्ट करते हैं, किस तरीके से याद रखते हैं, किस तरीके से समझते हैं कि किसको कहाँ पे एग्जीक्यूट करना चाहिए, और इतने कंट्रोवर्शियल टॉपिक्स के लिखने के बाद भी हाउ डज ही मैनेज टू काइंड ऑफ स्टे अवे फ्रॉम द कंट्रोवर्सीज वगैरह। और मुझे ये सच में जानना है कि वो इतना सारा फैक्ट्स, नंबर्स, स्टैटिस्टिक्स, सिंबल्स, information, how does he remember all of these things, and how does he execute it into his fictional story? And I just want to know the process, and he just seems like an extremely interesting character to me, Dan Brown. And apart from that, I don't know. Maybe yeah, J.K. Rowling. I would like to, and I think everyone would know the reason behind it. So yeah, it would be J.K. Rowling and Brown. I mean, those are just. I like imaginative minds. Yeah. Really like imaginative minds, rather than anything else.
Yeah, that's really interesting. You get to know some really imaginative things out of the world, out of your comfort zone, or maybe something like that. So yeah. Okay, Pratik, what is your kryptonite as a writer?
What is meant by kryptonite?
Okay, by kryptonite I mean something which you think can weaken your this art of writing, or which is harmful for you as a writer. Some particular thing or habit.
I think legal disputes. Like I've had legal disputes, and disputes like मैंने फाइल किया था किसी के ऊपर केस, और वो एक बार नहीं, 2 बार हुआ है, एंड वो बहुत ही वीकन, दैट थिंग हैज वीकन मी अ लॉट। आई थिंक यूजुअली प्लेजारिज्म जो होता है वो एक राइटर को बहुत ही वीकन कर सकता है, और जो लीगल डिस्प्यूट्स होते हैं वो राइटर को बहुत वीकन कर सकता है। सो आई रियली होप एंड प्रे दैट नो राइटर गेट्स इनटू legal disputes like I've been into. So, or because justice system is really messed up and so bad and so slow in India. Until the time you get out of it, you are lost. Like your thoughts are drowned inside of yours, and they are dead inside of yours. And a lot of stories would never see the light of the day, and you are found in a pathetic contract and don't get out of it. And बहुत ही मतलब अगर क्रिप्टोनाइट वही अगर चीज है कि जो आपको बहुत वीकन कर सकता है, तो मेरे लिए मुझे तो लगता है कि 2 ही चीजें, एक तो प्लेजरिज्म हो सकता है, आपका कोई बड़ा काम का प्लेजराइज करे कोई, तो दैट कैन वीकन यू, एंड अदर थिंग इज दैट मतलब प्लेजराइज करे और तुमको क्रेडिट ही ना दे, या फिर ऐसा नहीं। तो अदर थिंग है कि कुछ लीगल डिस्प्यूट्स जब होते हैं तो राइटर्स यूजुअली डोंट अर्न अ लॉट हियर, तो और ये लॉयर्स दे चार्ज अ लॉट। सो इन चीजों से these things can affect you, and they have personally affected me a lot. So they have kryptonite to me.
Okay. Last but not the least, Pratik, any message to all those people thinking of pursuing writing as a career, or willing to begin this writing, or about to publish their work?
Yeah, I just want to state facts here कि यार every year around 25 lakh books get published, new books 25 लाख। और तुम लोगों ने कितना पढ़ा है एक साल में? मैं लगभग 12 बुक्स पढ़ता हूँ एक साल में। तो अगर आपको मतलब आप यहाँ पे कंपटीशन देख सकते हो कि जिससे जेई में ऐसा कंपटीशन है कि 10 लाख लोग होते हैं और सीट्स होते हैं 10,000 लगभग। और नीट का ऐसा कंपटीशन है कि 10-12 लाख लोग होते हैं और सीट्स हैं 35-40,000 एमबीबीएस के लिए। तो वहाँ का कंपटीशन आप देखो और यहाँ का कंपटीशन देखो। यहाँ पे आपको 25 लाख में से 12 में आना है अगर आपको you want people to read it and push their books and read yours। तो वहाँ पे आपको पता है कि how difficult it is to get into IIT or get into MBBS। It is a lot many times difficult here to achieve the things that you may be expecting, okay, like fame or money or it getting converted into movies or it impressing the lady that you want and she willing to marry you, things like that. It's very, very difficult. So what I want to say is that put it out with the intention that this whatever that you have written would help someone, but then don't have a lot of expectations about it, because when expectations break, then that person also somewhere एक सेटबैक हो जाता है उसके लिए भी। तो ज्यादा एक्सपेक्टेशंस मत रखो, ये सच में फैक्ट है। बहुत सारे बुक्स हैं, बहुत सारे बुक्स पब्लिश होते हैं, उसमें से तुमको अगर रियल बेस्ट सेलर होना है तो बहुत ज्यादा मेहनत है और बहुत ज्यादा लक भी चाहिए आपके साथ में, नॉट जस्ट अ गुड कंटेंट, बिकॉज देयर आर सो मेनी बुक्स दैट जस्ट गो अनरेड, जो कि बहुत ही बेहतरीन होते हैं पर मार्केटिंग ना होने की वजह से या फिर वो ऑथर्स इतने फेमस ना होने की वजह से या फिर वो बुक का टाइटल कुछ कूल है जैसे कि सबटल आर्ट ऑफ नॉट गिविंग अ फक, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है। तो दीज बुक्स मे नॉट सेल और उनका स्टोरी शायद सबटल आर्ट ऑफ नॉट गिविंग अ फक से बहुत ही ज्यादा बेहतरीन। तो ऐसी भी एंड दीज थिंग्स आर फार मोर इन नंबर दैन द थिंग्स which have a good content and which get famous. So my only message is that go it with an intention that it would help someone, and also with the realization that this writing process has helped you in your self discovery and you have become more self aware. But don't give a lot of expectations of fame and money and getting it converted into a movie and becoming an Instagram star or something like that, because chances are and most chances are it won't happen. So यही है। और लिखते रहो, लिखना बहुत ही अच्छी चीज होती है। मैं कुछ सालों पहले मैंने थेरेपी ट्राई किया था जब मैं बहुत बुरे चीजों से जा रहा था, और उन्होंने मुझे कहा था कि तुम लिखो, ओके, राइट अ जर्नल। जर्नलिंग एक बहुत ही कॉमन थेरेपी है जो साइकोलॉजिस्ट एडवाइस करते हैं। तो अगर आप ऑलरेडी लिख रहे हो कुछ, so it is a very good thing. It will act like a therapy for you. It will act like a medicine and meditation for you. And it is great कि आप जो लिख रहे हो and लिखना भी चाहिए। बहुत अच्छी एक्सरसाइज है वो, आपको वो ज्यादा क्रिएटिव बनाएगा, आपको ज्यादा इमेजिनेटिव बनाएगा, आपका माइंड बहुत ज्यादा शार्प रहेगा। इट्स लाइक एन एक्सरसाइज फॉर माइंड। बट देन poison can be lot of expectations and unrealistic expectations, and which publishers will show you, and when publishers would say you that come to me, give me this, and you would be a star and something like that, but then you need to realize कि यार 25 लाख में से 12 में आना है। थोड़ा सा कैलकुलेट करो कि 12 डिवाइडेड बाय 25 और देखो क्या चांसेस आता है। यही है।
True that. Okay, Pratik, with this we come towards the end of this all session, and it was really good listening to your thoughts.
Thank you so much.
Your perception.
I have had a great time talking to you. I'm going to remember this for long.
Yeah, same here. Even I got to learn so much things from the talks, and so much like widening perception kind of thing. And thank you so much for being here and taking out time from your precious schedule.